All right, hello, welcome to another episode of War Daddies. I am joined by Matt and Shawn from Teching the Realms, who are also our TOs of Big Beef Beatdown, um, and TOs, and they're also the TOs of Bug Eater. And upcoming, we have some events lined up in the Great Plains. We have Summergeddon in June, teams event, 8-man teams. Go get your tickets for it. Looks like a lot of fun. And then we have. I think I just pressed the wrong button because I'm not good at this. Yes, I did press the wrong button. So I'll let you guys say hi real quick while I fix that.
Hey everybody.
How's it going? Looking forward to seeing some of you folks at our events.
Okay, so Hoghammer GT 2026 at AdventureCon. This is June 13th in Arkansas. They've got plenty of tickets left. It's a maximum of 32, it looks like. We have Bug Eater, beginning of June, June 6th, in Omaha. Matt and Shawn are running this. They got lots of tickets left. 42 out of the 50. We got the Taxman Cometh 3. April 11th. It's your reminder, get your taxes done. It's in Oklahoma, Edmond. We have another Hog Pit GT. This one is March 21st. It still has 21 tickets left. Also in Arkansas. And then the one we are here for is the Big Beef Beatdown that is this weekend in Omaha. Are you guys still letting people get tickets for this event?
Yeah, I'd imagine we'd still let people sign up if they wanted to. I think we sold 28 of our 32. So yeah, if someone wanted to still sign up, they could.
There you go. So a little bit of time left if you want to join at the last second. I don't think people are too upset about getting more people. Almost two sold out events on the same day in the same region. That's pretty good outcome, I think, for both tournaments.
Yep, 100% agree.
So you were saying before the show that Big Beef was a July tournament of 40K, and you're kind of tagged along with it.
Yep. So Big Beef 40K has been, I think that it's been happening for a few years. Last year they approached us, asked if we wanted to join in with AOS or catch an AOS event. So we said sure, we'll try it out. It was in July, which you advertised the Bug Eater GT, which is in Omaha in June. Feedback we received was that was a little bit close together. So the 40K folks that organized the overall event decided to move the 2026 event to February. So that's why we kind of have two events within less than a year of each other. I think the plan is February going forward. We will try to not schedule it over Heartrender in the future as well. It was a little bit unfortunate this year.
I think as the Great Plains has been growing in events just at a very high rate, it seems with the Masters coming back, it does seem like this last year we've had several, and I think like moving forward, everyone's like, let's not cannibalize the other tournaments, and I think it's going better, but I also don't know because I'm not a TO.
I think just what we found um, in Omaha is that we're kind of on the far fringes of the Great Plains region. So while we do, especially for Bug Eater, we get a lot of folks from elsewhere in the region. You know, Kansas and Missouri and stuff like that. Kind of fluctuates who comes, who doesn't. Oklahoma folks show up as well. We do end up with a lot of people outside of the Great Plains Masters at our events. or outside of the Great Plains region at our events as well. So just kind of anecdotally this year, I think the only Great Plains folks are the ones locally from Omaha, and that's less than half of the people that are currently signed up. So we draw a lot from Minnesota, Iowa, and Colorado for our events. It just kind of is what it is, I think, based on where we're located within the Great Plains.
Yeah, because I'm lucky that I'm in the Wichita area of the Great Plains, so I can hit Oklahoma easy. I can hit Kansas City relatively easy, and then Springfield is I think like 4 hours ish from where I am, and it's like, and I've hit St. Louis, so it's like I can hit Omaha, but it's like that's a trek for me, and it's like timing hasn't worked out, and hopefully this year I can make it to the Bug Eater.
Yeah, we'd look forward to having you. We travel a bit. We got a handful of folks that travel to the other events within the Great Plains. I don't think anyone's made it down to Oklahoma. Shawn and I have both been to Flying Monkey in the past. We've tried. We were in Kansas City in November for what event was that, Shawn? I can't.
Show me.
Yep, we went to
Is that
Show
what
Me.
it was?
Yep, Show Me Showdown.
Yep. I've
Usually,
gone to. Go ahead.
yeah, I was saying, yeah, like you said, we usually get to Flying Monkey, and then you were staying that. I think you went to Vault Wars a little while back.
Yep. I missed last year's Vault Wars and Flying Monkey, but before that, I'd been to the last couple Vault Wars with a few of us from around here too. So we try to get some folks traveling within Great Plains as well.
Well, spoiler from Vault Wars, Laurent won the sword again. So,
Fair enough.
but
I saw him
that was
waiting.
my first.
Sorry, I saw
Huh?
him waiting to get into Heartrender. I mean, he should know that we
He's
got a few
been.
tickets left here for Big Beef.
I'll have to nudge him and like, hey, Big Beef has spots open if you're really wanting a GT to cement that top 8 place you have in our circuit. I think he's ranked number 2 right now. But yeah, so what are you guys most excited for Big Beef this go around?
I'm personally excited in the growth that we've had from year one to year two. We were kind of scrambling to try to hit that 24 player mark last year, and to the point where I wasn't going out of my way to try to talk people into showing up to hit that number because it was a little bit stressful last year trying to do it, and this year it just happened naturally. I didn't. I advertised it, but I wasn't saying, "Hey, we need people to hit the 24." It just sort of happened. So I'm actually very happy that while 28's not huge, it's pretty good growth year over year, especially since last year we kind of had to scramble to get people to show up at the last second.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the end of the year Christmas stuff going on, and then the big Super Bowl, and it's like people are ready to do something. We're tired of sitting at home. We've got models maybe from Christmas. It's time to go play. And
And, and I think we have we've kind of we've run Bug Eater for a while. This is our second year of Big Beef, like you said. We've got the kind of organization and TOing down pretty well. I think we have pretty good terrain and mats and stuff like that, and run a fairly well organized event. I think that just kind of word of mouth is spread on that sort of thing too. I don't know if you'd second that, Shawn, but we get pretty good feedback on our events that they run smoothly.
Yeah, absolutely. I would second that. I'm also excited that relatively quick turnaround for announcing the event, the changing of the dates, and us being able to get both the local players, which kind of historically has been a problem across a lot of game systems for us locally, but also like the amount of out of town folks that we got. We're getting a sizable group from Iowa, which is exciting because we often try and travel to their RTTs as well. So I'm really excited that in the short period of time we got as many people willing to show up as possible with, I would say, only average level of press ganging that was required. I'm also excited to kind of see people exploring this late in the GHB. I feel like this is right before people start to get bored with the GHB. So a lot of people are either trying new things or they're pushing some stuff over the envelope. So we might be seeing some rather unique lists around this time of year.
Yeah. Not only that, we're getting a lot of new books right out the gate of this year. We've already got Nurgle, and I assume you're not letting Lumineth and new Zinch for this event. That
I think
seems
if
like
they would have, I think if they would have dropped a week before, we probably would have. But
yeah, because I think they officially drop this weekend.
yep,
Yeah,
I
so
think we tried to get some of the new stuff for our prize pool.
that'd be a really nice price support. Um, yeah, with I was going through your guys' list earlier, and I think Nurgle's one of your most represented armies. Is that normal for the Omaha area, or is that just this is new and we want to use it?
I think we have a healthy amount of Nurgle locally. I think they're a popular faction locally. I will say I think they've been on a lot of shelves lately. I think the general consensus locally was that they weren't that good. So I do think that the new book has injected some life, some excitement in folks. I know one particular person who's coming who was building Nurgle before the new book was even announced, so he was just thrilled that it kind of happened, and he just rolled what he had been kind of hobbying into the new book. But I think there's new life in a faction that was previously popular. That's just kind of dipped due to like stagnation and people not thinking the index was very good.
Yeah, that I've heard that about the Nurgle stuff. I it, I don't like the ick of Nurgle, so that is an army I personally don't want to buy. Feck is about the same lines. I don't like the ick. The models look fantastic, especially the new ones. I love them. They look great, and I won't get them.
That's fair.
So you guys, you've said you've ran Bug Eater a couple years. You've ran this a couple years, but with the movement changing, you think now is 32 like always your maximum for this event, or you think if with the dates changed, you might be able to get more people and be able to upscale the amount of people that come in, or is this you think about the limit for the February event?
Uh, TBD maybe. It's kind of the limit that we can run without having to kind of get into utilizing some terrain and mats and stuff from outside sources. Bug Eater is a bigger event. I think this is the 16th year or something of Bug Eater. My picture on the on BCP was outdated. I think it said Bug Eater 14, but I think this is either 15 or 16. There's sort of there's stuff we have available to us for Bug Eater that we don't necessarily have for Big Beef. We could probably get access to it, the terrain and mats and stuff. But as far as logistically, 32 might be about where we're capped without having to dip into some additional sources for, like I said, terrain and mats and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We're also a little limited on space, I think, at this location.
I don't think we actually are on space. Sorry to countermand you, but
No, that's fine.
just based on conversations where we're having. So, quick aside, there's some construction issues with our normal venue for Bug Eater this year, so we're actually moving to the church that we're hosting Big Beef at for Bug Eater. And I think there is various amounts of space. The problem is that the cost to rent the space scales with the space. So I do think if like we knew we could guarantee 48 coming in the door or something like that, we'd be able to get that space according to just conversations with the 40K TO. The concern would be as if we oversold for a bill of goods, if this 32 was an outlier, that would be pretty detrimental towards our prize support and our ability to really run the best event. But if we're consistently selling out for a few years, I do think that the venue is available for us to increase numbers. And then if we're doing that, we can have those conversations with the Bug Eater leadership about borrowing some of the additional terrain and supplies. So really, I mean, I feel like if we continue to approach selling out the event, or sorry, sell out the event, we can consider going bigger.
That's what we're looking for in these events, I think. We want year over year growth. We want to keep the hobby going, get it bigger, bringing in the new blood, which I do feel like the events are getting bigger, or we're getting more, and they're consistently filling to a respectable size no matter how many they're cannibalizing from other events. I think those are all good things to have, is even if we have, say, I know it's not happening, but if Bug Eater was in middle of June and then we had another event on the same day, but it's in Arkansas, because you guys do have some that are close, like, even if we were cannibalizing, the Great Plains is huge. So it's like, you kind of can split the player bases both directions and not hurt each other too much, but it kind of hurts. Which,
Yeah, I think
I
it
think
kind of
Go ahead, Matt.
it kind of depends on where those events are at. Like you said, if one's in Omaha, one's in Arkansas, I think those are far enough apart that it'll be okay. We had a Bug Eater a few years ago that was at the GW event was scheduled over the top of ours in Kansas City, so that was that was a bit unfortunate. Because that is really, we're like 2.5 hours from Kansas City, so I think at that point we are, like you said, cannibalizing
yeah.
our events. But yeah, you're right. Geographically speaking, Great Plains is big. I think if the events aren't too close to one another, we can. Yeah, like Heartrender's this weekend too. It sold out, so I think I'd be hard pressed to say that we're pulling too many people from down
Yeah.
there. Stealing too many attendees.
I can't. I, I have been chomping at the bit for like 3 weeks now to play games, and I'm still chomping at the bit, and I don't want to go to work for the next 2 days. I want to just play and hobby and get stuff going. So, we've talked about you guys TOing. What armies do you guys like to play?
I'll start, Matt.
Yeah. So we're kind of the overall organizers of Big Beef. Along with we have a third guy, Billy. He'll be our TO/judge at the event. So Shawn and I are actually we get to play in Big Beef. We don't play in Bug Eater because we organize and TO that one. So one of the reasons why we like having Big Beef is that we can kind of spread the share the duties of judging and actual day of organizing to the point where we can both kind of play in all of us can kind of play in a local event, if that makes sense.
So you guys are actually playing, and
Yep. So
okay,
yeah,
I guess we'll go over your lists when we go through that.
yeah.
That'll answer that question. I even went through every list, and I didn't even look at the names. I was like, I got it copied. Yeah,
That's
I
okay.
got the names on the list, and it's very low quality because I'm not a tech person. I work on roofs almost every day, every week, and it's like, yep, I could have chose a better path, but I am on a miserable roof. But that's
Yep. So we get to play this weekend. So we're looking forward to that.
all right. So, do you guys got anything else?
Yeah.
Do you guys
what
got
do
anything else you want to add about the Big Beef before we get into lists, or anything else you want to hit that I don't think we have?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, we're looking to do more events, looking to hopefully attract a few more folks. Also looking to try and bring a few more down to even stuff like RTTs when they're within 2.5 hours. We like I said, we travel a lot to those even. A few of us were tending to go to Des Moines. We've been down to Holton probably easily more than 5 times, maybe, but probably less than 10 for RTTs, and almost always bring in a group. So looking to have the Omaha scene kind of branch out a bit and
Yeah,
welcome
and
more
and
as well.
we,
We try and run RTTs every few months as well.
yep. I was gonna say we run 4 or 5 RTTs throughout the year.
I was gonna
Side of
say it
these
kind
months.
of seems like a trend for people to try and hit a RTT at their venues about every 60-ish days. That way they can get 5 or 6 a year, which I think is pretty good, especially if you go like, well, we got ours this month. Next month Holton has one. Player base is like, hey, there's our fix while we're getting ready for Big Beef. I got Nurgle I gotta go test.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I want to see you Omaha guys around more, and I do have a goal that I want to go to every event at some point in the Great Plains, and I just branched out. I hit Vault Wars for the first time this last year, and I loved it. That was a great event. Travis got that one permanently stuck on my calendar.
Yeah, I love Vault Wars. I was sad to miss it last year. Sad probably isn't the right word, but yeah, I love going. I'll definitely be going again this year.
Brett, you got to get like a those state park style stickers for like your water or your whiskey cup or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Get a sticker
yeah,
from each Great Plains GT event.
oh yeah, it's a good idea.
You're right. I should. I actually just picked up a case for my armies on Christmas, and I think I should just start slapping stickers on that for all the events I attend.
I think that's a
I guess
call to
that means
action
we
for
have
all the
to.
TOs to yeah, create some stickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, TOs, if you're listening, get stickers. I can't tell them too much. They're not going to listen to me, but stickers are cool. My son has stacks of stickers from teams, and it's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, they're all over my box. I'm like, yes, they are. All right, so I'm gonna start pulling up some lists,
It's good.
and we're starting with Nurgle. Um, so we have, and if I mispronounce names, just correct me. I'm terrible with them. I'm from Kansas. We have a eighth grade reading level.
That's
Uh,
national average. You're fine.
I, I think it's I can't even pronounce his first name.
That's Bo.
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 That's Bo.
Okay.
He's a good
Bo.
friend of ours.
Okay. So, yeah. Me and names not good. So Bo's playing Taliban. Actually, both of these lists are playing Taliban. He has Rodigus, drones. I do not know what the Cankerborn are. He's got the Unclean, Plague Bearers, Sloppity, and a Demon Prince. I don't know enough about New Nurgle except Rodigus is probably the meanest model in it, and Taliban is gross.
So I've played it. I can kind of take the lead on this and kind of talk about both of these. I have not played
Okay.
this version, but I've played against Maggot Cannon. I've kind of looked into it a bit, and they're both running Taliban, so that's easily the best sub faction battle formation. That's where they get to set somebody to be essentially infected right away, diseased at the beginning of the game. And every time they spread disease off of that target, everybody also takes a D3 mortals. And so they're
And
looking
you
to
can't
hit
heal
pretty
that
big brick.
and you can't heal that
Right.
initial disease from one, right? Battle round one.
Right, correct. And then yeah, if everybody doesn't know what Rodigus does, they will quickly. Or Rodigus is probably better than Scourge Rodigus now. He just has a bubble that turns off your healing. You can't be targeted or use heal abilities. So what it really means is you can't clear disease. but it also means that if you're playing death, it really hurts.
Now,
And both of these armies are big attrition.
what stops the like bring the movement like power through and stuff? Who stops that? Or is that an artifact?
That might be an artifact. I'm unaware of what that is. The Wither
Rot
Stave.
swords turn off commands, don't they?
Because I know there's someone has the ability where they can stop you from using movement abilities.
Sure
I
on
don't
that.
think that's in either of these lists. Like Matt said, Rot Swords in the second list they can stop you from using commands on a 3+. So then that would stop power through.
Yeah.
Both of them are running the Wither Stave, and so that's a solid artifact that I'm pretty sure when you charge, it's turns off weapon abilities, and it might even it subtracts 1 from the damage when you charge them, so it turns into a real big bulwark. And I think Belga is only in one of these lists. She's also pretty crazy. Adds +1 to either chanting or praying. I think it's kind of interesting is Bo's list doesn't have Belga, and it looks like Ben's list doesn't have Rodriguez, because that's usually like the combo you'd see. So
Because Rodriguez has his natural +1 to cast as well, right? So you're getting +2 with him. And
yeah, and his spell is a 7.
Because he has a
or an 8.
bubble to be he has the bubble, doesn't he? To give +1 to
Correct.
cast, I think.
No, Rodriguez doesn't have a bubble. It's Belga has a very small bubble. Belga the Sistwitch. She's in Regiment 1 of Ben's list.
then Rodriguez himself gives himself +1 to cast, I think.
Yeah.
And then Cankerborn are just like a pair of like hero beat sticks that come in the box. 4 attacks each, 3s and 3s, crit mortal, 3 damage each. So they're pumping out just eight attacks that just could randomly spike. They're fairly solid. And then the Godmarked Ascendant Regiment of Renown is also a cute little trick that Nurgle's been doing for a little while, where when he charges, I think he rolls a number of dice equal to the movement characteristic, and every 3+ is immortal, and Demon Prince with Wings is movement 10, so potentially just slams in with a solid amount of mortals. So Bose looks a little more aggressive. He's going to do a lot more damage. He has a little bit of an ability to bring back Plague Bearers that are probably doing some objective play, whereas Ben's list looks like it's much more about Rot Swords, getting you stuck in, big unit of Pestigores as well, Horticulate Slimex, bring in more trees, increasing all of their ward saves, and really just keeping you stuck in.
So 2 very different styles of Nurgle. One, I'm going to come get in your face, and the other, come at me.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Alright, so we do have another Nurgle list. And this one was a whole bunch of Plague Bearers. This is by George. Also Taliban. He's got a bunch of Plague Bearers. Helga, Rodriguez, Oxbringer, has that Wither Stave you were mentioning again, and has Poxbringer. But then he has the Hellsmith of Hashut ROR with the battery and bombard. So I don't remember what the new Plague Bearers were, but I thought people were pretty happy with the new scroll.
Yeah, I think they're 2 attacks, crit mortals. They might only be 1, but the Poxbringer hero does the chain fight, and his chain fight bonus is he adds an extra attack to Plague Bearers. So it looks like he's just going to try and do that a lot. A little surprised with the amount of Plague Bearers that he's running, that he's not running the Great Unclean One, since that's the only demon that can recur for him, and Rodriguez doesn't do it. So it looks like instead he's attempting for even more killing power with the with the cursed steel battery, which I actually think is fair. Me and Matt talk about ranged pressure being really important all the time. You know, pressure your opponent's command points in all phases of the game if you really want to be efficient.
Yep, and I think that Regiment of Renown has the ability to let those artillery pieces act as though they have the. I can't remember what the points are called. That um, what the. Sorry, my dog's barking in
Demonic
the background.
demonic power points. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they're
so I
called.
think that's what that regiment around does. So they get to act as though they have the 3 demonic power points. So they get to basically get all
Yeah,
their buffs that they can.
yeah. I think the Demon Smith has a way where it's like, yeah, I just count as giving them 3, and then I think the Bombard can turn off command points while projecting that ranged threat. And with War Machines not being obscurable anymore, they got a lot more targets they can hit, along with a lot of fly. There's definitely lots of fly in the meta. So on to Skaven. We got Ben Nichols. He's playing the Fleshmeld Menagerie. Uh, he's got the Aetherot. He's got the Scourge-Gyran Bells. He's got ogres, rattling guns, and a bunch of plague monks. I did lose this guy's name. I am sorry. Pretty sure it started
That
with a B.
is that is Bitly's list. She's another local. I know her, so I'm pretty sure that's Bitly's list.
This is where I say I'm not good with tech. I am sorry that I erased your name. Um, but Kritok, Hellpits, Storm Vermin, Arch Warlock, Giselles, Doomflares. These are a bunch of different War Scrolls. Warp Cog Convocation.
Yeah, I'm not the best with Skaven. I might have to defer to Sean on this one if he wants to take the lead.
Yeah. So I've played against Skaven a few times. I haven't played them myself, but I mean, I know with Warp Cog Convocation, I can lean more into because that was what I was more interested in, and that's going to be the one that's going to buff a lot of these ranged pieces like the Rattling Guns, Warplock Giselles. We're talking about Bitly's list over here. Um, Overall, it looks like most of these lists are trying to run at least one or two blocks. It's Plague Monks and Ben's lists and a unit of Clan Rats and Storm Vermin and Bitly's lists that really have the capability to be maneuverable around the board, jumping around with the knot-holes. If they die, they come back. As well as um, with Bitly's list, a lot of ranged pressure. Giselles are still incredibly damaging. There's plenty of stuff to act as shields. Even the Doomflayer can randomly move. So this is really like a maneuverability list, which we look at restless energy. That makes perfect sense to me. It's going to be able to move forward, snake an objective from you, get that one going, possibly sneak onto objectives that you think you've made safe afterwards. Especially with all like the kind of small units, where when we transversely we look at Ben's list, he's running the 2 units of reinforced rat ogres, interceptor, recover, master of paths. You know, he's intending to smash these units in. Fleshmeld Menagerie. I don't remember the specifics, but they applied bonuses to like the rat monsters, so the rat ogres
Yeah,
themselves can end up getting those bonuses.
yeah. You roll a dice and you get to pick 3 units, so you can do it to both of those units of rat ogres, and it's +1 attack or 5 aboard. I think is the.
Um, Only Ben is running the Gracier on the Scourge of Gyran, Gracier on Screaming Bell. The thing is a monster. It is very hard to kill. It provides, I believe, like a -1 to wound bubble. It's a double caster. It's just so much solid value that I'm a little surprised that I don't see in Bitly's list, but I think it might just be because she doesn't have it fully painted yet. So that thing is like a key crux, and it has the Flesh Melder command trait that I don't exactly remember what it does, but I know that I think either heals or it does something where it's going to buff those rat ogres even more, and it's going to have a pretty big bubble to do so.
Yeah,
add one to rend for a Molder unit.
I'm ready for Bell to go away. It's been a pain in my backside for a while now, and I don't like it. I do like all the shooting that you said it was Bitly. Herless. I like the shooting. Like I keep seeing people bringing out 6 Giselles or 12, and it's like, yes, let's make people miserable that there are other things other than long strikes, and they're a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, and I think they have that.
All right. So then we have Ryan Morris, also playing Skaven. Has the what was it? Fleshmeld Menagerie again, but he has 2 Hell Pit Abominations, Doom Flares, the Grey Seer, Storm Fiends, another Grey Seer, more Doom Flares, and Storm Fiends. But he brought the Lord's Skydraws Chosen, the one where you get the mount, the warriors, and the knights. So picked up those nice 3-up save units that are like, hey, you can come hit us, and we're not going to move while the Skavens do Skaven things.
Yep, yeah, that regiment around just adds a little
Staying power.
An army like Skaven where it's just hard to shift without putting actual output into them.
And I think people have forgotten
warriors don't
actually how scary the Storm Fiends actually are. Like they kind of dipped in popularity, but I think especially in a Fleshmeld Menagerie, he's got Flesh Melder or Mender or whatever, able to give the extra rend. They hit like trucks, and they're pretty hard to remove too. So this is like more of like a kind of tough army to get rid of, even though it's pretty elite.
I don't think I've ever seen Storm Fiends on the table. I've seen like the Vizix, I've seen the Hell Pits, and I've seen all the zippy zoomy wheels, but I don't think I've ever seen Storm Fiends. Ever.
Is that just that's not a reinforced unit of Storm Fiends, is it just a straight up unit of Storm Fiends?
I think
ones.
Okay.
So they're very elite. They're almost 250 points for just 3?
Yeah, maybe 6 wounds if I remember correctly.
They 5 or 6
wounds.
Really
shooty, and now they actually hit kind of hard. I believe they're like 2 damage, maybe 4 attacks each, 4s and 2s or 4s and 3s, 1 rend. So they, with the Fleshmeld Menagerie, they're able to get a lot more damage output too, and the Fleshmelder will put them up to rend 2.
Another pretty fighty elite Skaven list. Took a little bit of the offensive buffs that they can get out of the knights and warriors. Or they're probably, I'm going to guess, staying home and guarding that while the fiends and abominations go forward. And they are also Master and Restless. Restless seems like such a good tactic for Skaven, just being able to pop out of a gnaw hole and steal something. Now we're on to OBR with Brad Peterson. He's got Intercept, Master, he's Mortart, Ballistary. He's got Catacross, Crawler, Guard, Mortis and Ossifector, Gothazar Harvester, Morghast, Archai, Mortek Crawler, and then the Scourge of Gyran, Bone Shaper.
I think we'll let Matt take the lead on these 2 lists. I think he can.
Yeah, because I'm the second guy there.
Yeah, see, so the second list is Matt's, and all I see is a bunch of Stalkers and a bunch of Guard, and some Hardringers, and it feels like Matt's being a really, really bad person to the people coming to his event, and that it's like I am a TO, so I'm going to take something mean.
You say that. I haven't had all that much luck this GHB. Shawn can attest. Uh, my my record this GHB is not the world's greatest. We'll say. I generally fall somewhere in the 3-2 range at events, but I have not been doing that well this GHB. So hopefully I can turn it around with this event. But yeah, I mean these are two sort of different approaches to OBR. Brad has a couple of crawlers for that, that range pressure that we talked about. And actually, I don't. My list doesn't love to see crawlers across the table from it because my 4 Morghast there can be targeted by the crawlers and they're anti-infantry, so they're Ren 2 against the Morghast, and so I'm hoping to avoid playing against the the crawlers, to be honest with you, because they just delete best. Um, it, it, Brad's list is, yeah, like I said, trying to pressure you from range while also getting his own Morghast into combat with into the right combats to delete, other scary stuff, monsters and what have you, other elite units. I'm just trying to make sure, with Morghast, you always want to make sure that you are getting to fight first, because every single one of those that gets picked up is just a huge blow to their damage output. Because they're 3 attacks each, threes, twos, Ren 2, 3 damage, but yeah, with crit 2 hits. But every one that gets picked up is just so much output that you're losing. So you want to use those judiciously, I'll say. And then he's got Catacross, of course, so he can give the +1 to save to 3 different units every battle round with the command points. Just a lot more tanky, and his Morghast are the 3-up save ones as well. Mine are the 4-up save guys that can charge 3d6. My list is more like a kind of moving castle, trying to screen with those 2 units of Mortec Guard, and then pick and choose my fights with the Stalkers and the Morghast, like I said. I do like, and then I added Arch Kevlos Xantos to my list just to, with the combination of the Scourge of Gyran spell that gives +1 attack, and then the once per game +1 attack from Xantos on 3 units. You can, get up to 5 attacks each on a full Morghast unit. That really is pretty scary. You're yeah, you're talking a lot of potential damage output. And
Yeah,
then go ahead.
yeah, because the Morghast, they hit like freaking trucks. They're what, like 4 damage attacks or something?
3 damage.
3 damage? Yes.
Yep.
So
Still
if
pretty
it's
good.
5 attacks a piece and there's 4 of them, that could really
Yep.
just hurt really
Yep.
quick.
And then we both have the Manifestation Lord of the Horrors and the Necropolis. So, one of the things that's been escalating, I'll say, in this GHB, at least the way I see it, is how can I get rid of somebody's, or how can I reduce somebody's ward save? So that's one way that OBR has to reduce ward saves. One of their endless spells is a 12-inch bubble of reduce ward save by 1. And then, of course, Stalkers have the ability to ignore ward saves too.
So that's
Before we
kind of
move
why
on,
Stalkers have shown up again.
yeah, before we move on, I did want to talk about 2 things here as well. I do think, something that Matt's brought up in conversations with me is the conversation around wards and how he's brought up how often is it actually necessary to remove wards, and like at what point do you sacrifice for your ability to do so, and when does it become detrimental? And I think that we've kind of reached that critical mass where if the unit or the thing that you're bringing doesn't also contribute in a lot of ways, or other ways, people are now starting to not be as worried about stripping wards, and I think we're going to see that with Nurgle Rising more often. And I think we'll see here shortly that I'm not even sure if a single KO Regiment of Renown is being brought, and it does add extra value too, right? Like we can teleport infantry with that Regiment of Renown, and people are just choosing not to do it to bring more synergistic things in their army. So I do wonder if people are choosing things that can get rid of wards only if they don't sacrifice in other areas. And then the other thing I wanted to touch on was I actually like Matt's choice of Morghast over Brad's, because even though it has a 3+ save, I feel like Morghast really want to pick those fights based off of what Matt was saying, where losing one of them is a really big deal. And I think having the 3d6 charge really just kind of gives you the ability to even hang them back and keep them a little bit more protected and really pick your fight. And I think that there's a more utility to doing that with the 3d6 charge over the +1 to save, because there's just plenty of ways to, 1, strip wards, and 2, just to deal mortal damage and go straight through that 3+.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I don't think a single person took the KO regiment for Heartrender either. Like, I think we're going to look in a bunch of tournaments where it's like they're almost priced out of their ability, but it's still a really good one. It's just they're really expensive.
Yeah, I played Cities of Sigmar at Show Me, and I had it in my list, and it does provide a lot of utility. Like Shawn said, you can the ability to just jump units around the board for a command point, like it's, even outside of that, they can teleport any infantry unit 10 miles or less. That's a lot of utility as well. But yeah, you're right, Brett. I think just the constant points increases have priced it out.
Yeah.
Those crawlers also also have the ability to give fight last, by the way. So that's a nice bonus effect from those ranged attacks.
I kind of worry about Brad's list because it looks very light on the screens. And if he finds anything fast, I just think those crawlers are just done for the game.
Yeah, that's the risk. Get them and tie them in combat, and then yeah.
All right, so on to Stormcast. We got Brett Metzler. He has Celestant Prime with a Vexillor, Lord Terminos, Reclusians, Karazai, Praetors, Tornus, Prosecutors, Vigilers, and an Arcanum. And he brought the Kronspine for his Spell Lord.
Yep. So both of these guys are local Omaha players as well. Long-standing Stormcast players, I'll say. You can talk through Corey's list if you want, and then I can touch on what I think about it.
Yeah. So we got Corey. He's got Prime, Aether Wings. He's got the Storm Drakes, 6 long strikes, not reinforced. A little versatile there. Night Relector, Soulsworn, Arcanum, and Lord Celestant, and Annihilators with Grand Hammers. I like it's kind of weird when you get into different areas with Stormcast, because you could be in one state and everyone is loving Prime, and then you get to another state and everyone's like, no, he's the worst one in the group, and it's like, I don't know, but one of your guys has Big Red Dragon, and I like Big Red Dragon, because they keep pointing him lower, and it's like, he's almost at that point where he's better than taking Cavalry for his points. And I was watching another YouTube video on that, and it's like, that makes a lot of sense, and but it looks like a lot of hero hammer out of Brett, and then almost a more traditional list with just some personal choices out of Corey, where he's got the Storm Drakes and he's got Soulsworns who are going to go teleport. They're going to steal Restless when you think you're safe. They both have the portal, so your objectives are never safe from these guys. They will take them. You can't stop it. and they've got the shooting output and all the buffs to make their heroes just hit you like trucks.
Yeah, they both kind of have a riff on the deep strike in a hero with that Quicksilver draft to protect them from if they don't make the charge, the 9-inch charge when they drop in, um, you run the risk of getting getting hammered anyway when you charge into them.
Yeah.
Basically, you either ring. In Brett's case, it's the Reclusians. In Corey's case, it's the Grand Hammer Annihilators. You ring them around your Quicksilver draft guy, and then if they don't make the charge, that guy's going to be fighting first when they're going to be fighting first when you charge them on your turn.
Not only that, they're both legendary tenacity. They have a 3-up don't die.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, I'm going to go get Master of the Past killing a little hero. No, they just have to roll a 3-up, and you fail that. And then they're probably picking up whatever tried to kill them.
Yep. And both of these guys are very
smart.
practiced with these kind of lists too. So, and I don't mind Kron Spine if you have a bonus to cast.
Yeah.
I don't think Kron Spine's worth it if you don't have that bonus to cast, but in this case they do with the Night Arcanum, so I'm okay with it. What do you think, Shawn, about Kron Spine in this case?
Yeah, we've kind of talked about that. I think it's an absolute waste if you don't have a bonus to cast, because you're just banking on an 8, getting it maybe if you're lucky twice a game, but probably once. Just it feels silly. But if you do have any sort of bonuses to cast and you're running an elite list, then just having a recurable monster is pretty awesome. So I do like it in both of these lists because they are a little bit on the elite side.
Yeah. Oh, I actually like it in Stormcast. My son was using it with Big Blue Dragon. It's like, oh, I rolled a 6. I still get it. And it's like, I killed that thing like 3 times. And he's like, oh, I bring it back on your turn still, on a 7. So,
yeah,
it has its place.
Situation.
It is a nightmare. Yeah. I think we got 2 more Stormcast lists. We got Justin Foster. He's Ruination Brotherhood. He's got Irridin. He's got several Quester Soulstorms. He's got 3. Lord Veritant, Lord Vigilant on Griff. He's got Vigilers and double Reclusians. And some Liberators. Got a little points left with them. And then Will is Bastion with Night Judicator. We got the Reclusians reinforced, Paladors with the Javelins reinforced, Vigilers. And then we got Night Relector and triple Soulsworn again. I take back what I said about Matt being mean to his TO or his players. These guys might be your meanest players coming with 3 Soulsworns. Because once again, your objectives are never safe. And they're almost guaranteed to get Scouting and Restless for free this whole game.
Yeah, I've liked Questor Soulsworn since they came out last edition. I think finally the points have dropped enough and people have caught on to their utility that you're seeing them all over the place. I'm not surprised to see lists like this.
For
my
sure.
my guess is Questor Soulsworn points are going to go up at some point, which is a bummer to people that have been running them for a long time. But I guess that's just how it goes. These are 2 really good lists, hard to pin down, and also have output. These are tuned Stormcast lists.
Yeah, these guys will take every objective at some point. You think you will be able to take a 200-point unit off of the board, and you'll realize, oh, they have the 5-up ward just because they took the objective. And they're 3 wounds apiece on a 3-up save, 5-up ward. They don't move. they will live there and probably need 300 to 400 points to take off.
Yep, they're good.
They're and then you still have to fight the rest of their stuff. That's going to hit you. Oh, and Soulsworn also hit like trucks. They're damaged too, like heroes. Like they're same. They have. I think they have better output than the Reclusians with more utility. And it's like I don't hate it. I love these lists. I'd be probably playing about the same thing as these guys. Well, except Will. I wouldn't play what he has because I don't have javelins. But I like them. Everyone's bringing the porta potty, so lots of teleporting.
Stormcast have so many teleport tricks. It's just it's so hard to pin them down.
I do love that Justin brought Iridan. I think that is my third favorite model in Stormcast right now. Mainly because it's not a dragon. The dragons are better. But Iridan's model is absolutely fantastic, and his just jumping in combat is awesome.
Yeah, it just adds to the movement tricks that this list has.
Yep. Alright, we have Cody Matlock playing Hellsmiths of Hashut. He's got Restless and Scouting. And then he's got Uroktar, Sentinels, Hashuts with Spears, 2 different units of that, 1 reinforced. He's got an Infernal Taurus, and then he has Bull Centaurs, and then 1 of each of the artillery pieces, and then some Hobgrot Vandals with an Elder. I personally haven't played against Hellsmiths yet. I know Uroktar is very important to the army, and I know that you need the spears kind of to start unlocking your TPP, their currency basically. But I don't know a lot about these guys.
So I think both Matt and I have played against this, at least versions of this list. He's been slowly improving it, trying to figure out what to do with it. It's really relying on getting that DPP, and he has a lot of good ways to do it. Hobgrots can early game move forward, which is really nice, and then having the spears to generate a little bit extra points is good. I think at one point he was talking about having double rocket battery, which would have been pretty scary. But overall, there's a lot of things that hit relatively well. The thing is that Hellsmiths don't take a hit back super well. So he just really has to trade up with all of these pieces and not let things get to those rockets and that bombard, because then he can keep that continuous range pressure, make sure he's continually annihilating units. The one thing that does hit well are the anointed hit back well are the anointed sentinels. If they countercharge, they get strike first. So he'll typically kind of line them up in like the middle region. And when you come in to start removing some of these units, he'll countercharge, and I believe they're damage 3 on the charge. Like it's pretty frightening.
Are the Sentinels like the alternate bowl kit? Or am I thinking of a different one?
Yeah, they are. Yep. And so he was using some of the demon engines, the robot bowl men, and I think they're really cool, but I think the problem was they've got a 2+ save with no ward, and so they would go down relatively quick without having done much damage. And so he's replaced those with more of the sentinel, or the anointed sentinels, and the normal bull centaurs, the cav, which they just kind of hit a little bit harder and they survive a little better.
Get some of that little quicker movement too, because you think dwarf army, you think slow. No, sentinels are fast-ish. The Taurus and Urok are, I think they're movement 10 or 12.
Yeah, and the centaurs, I believe when they're on full DPP, they move crazy fast. I don't know what exactly it is. It might be like a +3 or so, it's a large bonus to their move, and they can get kind of sneaky. They might even have run in charge or something like that.
Watch out for the unexpected speed that these guys can bring out. And lots of good screens. You got vandals and spears to protect, and then good casting from their wizards.
Yeah, those Vandals, they have that pregame move, like Shawn said, helps him get scouting force too.
Yeah. Because no one wants to go kill vandals. They wanna go kill the good stuff. We got some Soulblight next. We got Cole Knutson. He has a Bacchanal of Blood. Actually, both of these lists are Bacchanal of Blood. So we got Prince Vordry, Varghese, Vengorian Lord, Direwolves, Radikar, White Lord on Steed with Knights, and then the ROR with the Terrorgeist. And then Eric Wilson has a Vampire Lord on Steed with 2 units of Blood Knights, another Vengorian Lord, and then we got Borrow Guard reinforced, and normal Borrow Guard and a White King, and then Radikar, more Wolves, Felbats, and Ivia Volga.
I'll let Shawn take the lead on this because he plays Soulblight, but I will point out that Cole comes to a lot of our events. He's an Iowa guy, and then Eric is one of our local Omaha guys.
He's our local heel, or whatever.
He is. He is our heel.
Bacchanal of Blood is going to be the best one probably, especially if you're running any of the good heroes, or a unit of Blood Knights. So in Cole's case, the Varghese, Vengorian Lord, Prince Vordry, all good for Bacchanal of Blood, and in Eric's case, he's got 2 units of Blood Knights, Vampire Lord, Vengorian Lord. And so what that's going to do is if they're not in combat, all the wizards are going to get a +1 to cast, which is every vampire hero. And then if they charge, they're going to get a +1 to wound. So that makes the Blood Knights, wounding on 2s. It makes most of those heroes wounding on 2s if they didn't already. And that just adds up really quick. I think Eric's choice of battle tactics are really interesting. They kind of play to what he's seemingly trying to do, which is kind of tie you up, play this long game, get to the middle of the board, never really move. And that's like, Matt and I have played Eric for years. That's just always how he's played. And so he's, using a lot of these barrel guard that are going to try and do crit mortals. White King can chain fight, and I believe he either gives them an extra attack or he does something that's fairly detrimental. And there's just a lot of things that he can continuously bring back and keep pressuring objectives, keep playing primary. Cole's list is similar in a way. He's running the Knights instead of the barrel guard, so his is a little trying to be on the fast end. And then I actually think that the Terrorgeist Regiment Renown, I've played it a few times in my lists. It's just a good value for a kind of a little Yahtzee roll. So I think Cole is a little bit more aggressive with his list, and I think that bears out in his battle tactic cards. Master of the Pass, Restless Energy. He's going to try and get to your hero. He's going to try and take objectives. He's going to try and take all your objectives. So both of these are like similar takes, but kind of swap in the level of aggression, or when they want to be aggressive.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but both of the White Lords with their skeletons that are coming with, they both give those units 5-up wards while they're with it, so they become pretty tanky too and can just hold you forever.
Yeah, and the Barrow Knights themselves, they just bring a model back each turn. End of turn, both turns, they're just bringing one of those Barrow Knights back, and that's, I think it's 3 wounds, 4-up save. Like, that's just really adds up quickly.
Love to see it. This is the first Death Army that I've personally been trying to get into. and I love the skeletons. They look amazing. So hope to see these guys do good. I like seeing the skeletons. And then we go on to Feck. We got Dustin Foreman. Okay, both of these lists are exactly the same. So Joe and Dustin, same list. They're playing all the Terrorgeists and a zombie dragon. So I'm pretty sure they just copy pasted each other's lists, including their list name.
Yeah, I can run
Which
down this.
the Royal Terror. Yeah, please do. Because I think they're just like.
Yeah, you've probably got it. They overlap some buffs. They're sending in these Terrorgeists. What they can do is the Ghoul King on Terrorgeist Delusion is run and charge for monsters, and the Ghoul King Delusion is +1 to hit for companion weapons on monsters. So they're just trying to get everybody in. They're just gonna hit you, try and get all of them. Multiples stacking, try and roll sixes. There is a way, and I might be mixing up where some of these triggers come from, but there is also a way where they can add an extra attack to companion weapons for units that are wholly within 12 of them. It might be on the Ghoul King who can do that. Then there's a mount trait. It's Revered Monstrosity, which happens to be on both their zombie dragons. That's the +1 to hit. That's the +1 to hit bubble for companion weapons. So they're trying to slot all these guys in. It's really aggressive. It's really brutal on double turns. They probably can take it relatively easy on turn 1. Maybe even try and give you a double, from turn 1 into 2, so they can take a double on turn 2 into 3, because this list just wants to pick you up. It wants to pick you up before turn 4. Royal Menagerie is also going to give any ghoul that charges on, I believe, an 8 or a 9. I don't remember which one it is, but any one of the monsters that charges on that value gets strike first as well. So
yeah, it's a 9+.
9+. Yeah, they're just playing Yahtzee. Like they're gonna
and then
try and roll sixes.
They can all use their rampage, right? So they can all use their rampage with Royal Menagerie as well, which means they can just repeatedly, especially if you're playing infantry, isn't their rampage just roll a number of dice equal to the models in the unit, and on a 6-up, take a mortal wound. So if you're playing infantry, they're just going to keep slamming you with. They can slam you with that too when they first come in. Hopefully, I didn't mess that up, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Very, very ultra aggressive.
Yeah, pick an enemy infantry unit, roll a dice for each model, target unit for each 6, inflict a mortal. And if 3 or more damage points are allocated, it's -1 to hit rolls. Because there's nothing that says they can't do that. If they can do the rampage more than once, they can keep doing it to the same unit.
Yeah, unless it's limited to army, then yeah, I think they're each allowed to do it.
No, so just so you know, if you are affected by the -1 to wound roll, you are now being affected by a persistent effect, and then you cannot actually be targeted by that ability a second time. So they won't be able to stack it on the same unit once you've been affected by the -1 to hit rolls.
So they can't do the mortal wounds at all at that point. They can't even do the rampage at all.
Right? Yeah, because they can't target you with an ability you're already being affected by.
Okay. All right. On to Slaves to Darkness. Connor Mahood has Be'lakor, Chaos Lord, Varangard, Chaos Lord on Karkadrop, Chaos Warriors, Warriors, and Warriors. And Kyle Mason has a Gaunt Summoner, Chosen, Bunch of Furies, the Myrmidon, Chaos Lord on Mount, hero and more Varangard. Varangard in this area kind of just seemed to have disappeared for me. People think they're a little too expensive, but they're still fight twice, very elite, hard to kill. Connor seems like he took more of a defensive build with all the warriors, whereas Kyle looks like he just wants to go in and punch you in the face and try and win, and maybe pull off the cheeky Gaunt Summoner, drop everyone down, and murder you.
Yeah, I think you have the right of it there. I think Connor's list is more defensive, bringing all those warriors to try to potentially tie you up, and then of course he still has the Vanguard and the ultimate control piece in Bellicor himself. Wow, yeah, Kyle Mason, local guy. He's a very aggressive player, I'll say. So you are correct. I think that's what he's going to try to do is get into you as soon as he can and pick up as much of your arm as he can.
Yeah. Alright. Then we got Ogres. Hunter Erdmann has a Butcher, Noblars, Iron Guts, an Iron Blaster, Scourge of Gyran, Slaughtermaster, the Gorger Mob Pack, and then Reinforced Unit of Gluttons and more Gluttons. And I believe this is also the faction where they get to like move D6 in the charge phase, or they can like walk into combat like old Murder Lust. It's
A burger.
It's one of those armies that's deceptively, yeah. It's one of those like deceptively tanky armies. It's like, oh, they have a bad save. Well, they have a bad save, but they have a ton of health, and they're going to hit you really hard. He's Master Pass Restless, so he's going to just look forward and move through your army with trying to get as favorable as trade as he can get.
Hunter is also the only destruction player signed up, so
Is
there's that.
holy one destruction player. Well,
Yep. So
best in faction.
Yep. Unless we get an 11th hour destruction sign up, then Hunter is rolling into best destruction right off the top. For that, he'll be getting that trophy. Hopefully, he doesn't throw it straight in the trash.
Maybe we can reach out to Andy, get him to actually. Maybe he'll roll up.
We got a local destruction guy who didn't sign up for this event.
Get him to show up. Need more people. Alright, we got Curtis Davis. He's playing Blades of Corn, and he's playing the Bloodthirster Baleful Lords. He's got 2 Furies, a Rage, Scarbrand, and Wrath. Pretty standard from them. They get that 3d6 charge from Scarbrand, and then they're just going to hit you in the face with all the Bloodthirsters. And they can recur the Bloodthirsters. So if you have a high army count and they start picking those off, you might see Bloodthirsters coming back 2 or 3 times.
What do you have to do to get the Bloodthirster back? It's number of units slain and then some kind of
Plus
dice
the
roll.
battle round. And I believe it's on 3-ups. So if I think the earliest they can get it is, I think, like usually turn 3. If they've killed like 5 units, they could get it with some luck. But
It's you roll a number of dice equal to the number of units slain plus the battle round. And if you get 8 3-ups, you get to bring 1 back.
And they can just bring Scarbrand back. Who can? Yeah, ideally it's 11, and that's why I think we've been seeing a lot more Scarbrand is because he can get back into that combat quicker. He's got the 3-6 charging. And they've got quite a few anti-monster stuff. So Maybe Davis is who takes down the Terrorgeist spam.
Yeah, maybe.
That and Scarbrand came down a little bit too. I actually think you couldn't work him into the list previously unless you only ran Unfettered Furies. I think there was like, because I've looked at this list a few times, so he came down enough to make him more reasonable in the list.
Now we've got Sylvaneth. We have Jacob Klein, who's using Wargrove of the Birching. Both of these lists are using Wargrove. We got the Branch Witch, Kurnoffs with Scythes, Belthanos, Scourge of Gyran, Drycha, and the Seekers, and Durthu with a War Song for Jacob. Carl has the War Song, Kurnoffs with Bows, Belthanos, Tree Revs, more Scythes, Drycha, and Spite Revenants. I know these guys they've got all the run and charge in the world. You can be 18 inches away from them and they will hit you on the first turn. They are that fast. And Durthu may be slow, but he gets to reroll his save. In Jacob's list, he gets to reroll his hits, his wounds. He's got the spell ignore. They've got teleports for days. It's going to hurt really bad. Been learning to play Sylvaneth, and they are a blast.
Yeah, they have a lot of movement tricks. Belthanos gives the board wide, restrictions, run and charge, right?
Yep.
They're both running the Burgeoning, Wargrove or the Burgeoning, so they have the potential to bring multi-wound models back, on a dice roll if they're near terrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if they don't do that, it's heal the dice roll. So you leave a guy on 1, they roll 4, it's full health. And Drycha is ignore wards. So not only do they have their method of that we were talking about earlier, it benefits them to take her because she's going to help non-Kurnoth guys get better attacks, better wounds, and she's going to make you ignore wards on 10 attacks. Great model.
Yep.
Probably one of the best glow-ups from Scorch of Gyran.
Yeah, she's good. I guess the bright side for those of us potentially playing against it is neither of them have Alariel, so they're not bringing anybody back at least, right? Once you kill them, they're dead.
Now, if you want to hear something funny, Heartrender has 3 Alariel lists. And we have 4 Sylvaneth lists. Only one of us is not using that.
Are you playing Sylvaneth at Heartrender?
I am playing Sylvaneth at Heartrender. I am playing all heroes. There are no screens, all gas. Alright, then
I think we got one more. Yeah, we got Scott.
Volkmore, also playing Wargrove of the Burgeoning. The exact opposite of what you get down in Kansas. You've got all the armies that want to bring guys back. So we've got Drycha, Warsong, Dryads, Tree Revs, Durthu, a Revenant, more Scythes. I think his might be the most defensive with all the Scythes. Skipped out on Belthanos in that run and charge, but got some extra bodies out of it.
Yeah, that's 2 big units of sides are hard to shift.
Yep, and Dryads are the tankiest bad save model in the game. Being minus hit to wound, minus hit and minus to wound, that is awful to fight through. And if you're already on 4s before you get debuffed, you're not moving them.
Yep. And he can bring them back.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Burgeoning can bring them back.
Yep.
Yeah, and easy teleports with Revenants. Um, Branch Witch can give them that fights first. Arch Revenants, more buffs. Durthu's re-rolling everything. And they've got the Spell Ignore. They're going to hit really hard.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to see how the Sylvaneth do in your big beef beatdown. Alright. We got Michael Smith and Sam Wilton Cooper both playing Lumineth. They were one's Huracan Temple, one's Sonari. We got Severith, the twins, Blade Lords, and Lightner, Blade Lords, Calathur, Light of Elthurian, the Soggy version, River Blades. And then over on Sam's, we have the Lord Regent, Dawn Riders, Wind Mage, Wind Chargers, Spirit of the Wind, Wind Chargers. This more standard, I think, to how Lumineth has been playing, and Sam's playing stuff I have not seen Lumineth been really playing at all. I actually can't remember seeing Dawn Riders at all in 4th edition.
Yeah, I think Michael's list is a pretty standard Lumineth archetype. You know, you can see at the top of his, you can see at the top of his list, he wishes we were using the new book or the
Yeah, I saw that, and it's
good,
like, yeah, your new rules are really good, and everyone there is going to be glad that you're on the old book still.
Yeah, this is still a good list though. I think this something very similar won Big Beef last July.
Oh, yeah.
Or was best general at Big Beef last July.
Yeah, because Severith is going to just be able to get within range, one tap a hero, and then back away. And then if Blade Lords are near him, they're going to be hard to kill. I believe it's minus to hit. They get the 5-up wards, and they're crit mortals on all their attacks.
Yep. Or they can do their single attack on a 2-up do a mortal, depending on what they're
and
fighting.
And then River Blades are that teleporting back piece that will snipe your squishies.
Yep. And Scourge of Gyra and Light of Eltharion can be brought back in lieu of an endless spell. So yeah, it's a good list.
It's a very good list.
Sam's on the other hand, and maybe I'll let Shawn talk about this because he's played against it. It's one of those things where I think the sum of its parts, or whatever, it's better than the sum of its. I'm messing up the saying, but I'll let Shawn.
Yeah, this just ends up being a really hyper aggressive list, and you'd be surprised at how effective it actually is. The Venari Lord Regent is going to enable both of the Dawn Riders to get an extra attack when they charge. They're going to come in with the bonus from he's on Huracan Temple, but he can still choose to use I can't remember what it's called, but
it's like crit 5s, isn't it?
Yeah. So then there'll be crit mortals on 5s, charge +1 damage, with an extra attack. So his go turn, he really does. He just kind of like shreds a lot of your army, and even if he doesn't shred enough of it, like there's still multi-wound models with a 3-up save that are kind of hard to get rid of. And at the same time, there's a ton of range pressure coming from these Wind Chargers that are coming over the top, ignoring wards with their shooting attacks.
I was going to say, the Wind Chargers ignore wards, if I recall, right?
Yep, yes, absolutely. The Wind Chargers ignore wards on their shooting.
Really good unit there.
Shoot if they're close enough to the Spirit of the Wind. So
and he knows how to play it too.
I did not realize that the Dawn Riders had ways to get more attacks, and also didn't know they were crit mortals. I may just be paying more attention to the new book where I heard they became one of the saddest units.
Yeah, I think Sam was a little sad with how they came out, but they are cheaper too.
But they're different. Yeah. I think he was initially downtrodden, but I think he's since come around because they've kind of rearranged what they do.
Yeah. Well, he gets one last hoorah to bring forth all the Dawn Riders.
Yep, and shout out to Sam. He usually wins our best dressed award because he shows up in his Venari
Well, we need to see
cosplay.
pictures in the Great Plains Discord of outfits and people's boards and stuff.
Yep. We'll see. He said he had to make some repairs to his uniform, so I'm not sure if he's going to wear it this time.
And then we got Tom Litton, also playing Lumineth. He's got the Lord Regent, the normal Altherion, Blade Lords, Dawn Riders, River Blades, and then he's got a cow package. Or is it just one cow? One Spirit of the Mountain, and then a Stone Mage and some Stone Guards. So, pretty sure this is his stay-at-home group right here with the Stone Guard and Mountain, and then he's got guys that can just go forth and, from what you said, hit really hard on a turn where it's needed.
Yep, I actually played against this last Sunday, I think. In a lead-up practice game. Tom's another local guy. He's just a fan of, I think, balanced type lists where he's got kind of a take-all-comers approach, and that's what you see here, like you said, with the more tanky regiment, and then a regiment that can kind of go out and get you. I think he only plays Lumineth, so he knows what to do with them, knows what each unit can do. Yeah, it's just a pretty solid take all comers, multifaceted list, I would say.
Yeah, and to be clear about what the Venari Regent does, because I did double check, it is a once per game. Him and 2 Dawn Rider units can all reroll charges, and if any of them successfully charge, then they get +1 to their attacks characteristic. And so then the Dawn Riders have 2 attacks naturally that are crit mortals. You can make them go to crits on 5s. They're damaged 2 when they charge, and then they do their roll a dice for each model in their unit, and on a 3+ do a mortal. So it really just, with the Venari Lord Regent, they combo pretty well, and they turn into a decent hammer.
Yeah. Watch out for Dawn Riders. They're gonna hurt you more than you expect. Alright. We're gonna let Shawn tell us what he's going to do to people.
Either one of you guys could as well.
Okay, so Lady O, she's never gonna die. You're gonna really hate her. You've got the coach, who also has, what I believe, 3d6 charging. Pyregasts are still probably one of your most efficient units for shooting and combat. And I think Blade Geists are one of your big hammer damage units.
The Blade Geists are the Anvil unit. So really this list and what Nighthaunt does and what Nighthaunt excels at is points per effective wound, right? And so, we've got the unrendable save and we've got wards. So a lot of times we're looking at just like reducing the amount of damage that comes in a lot. And so Nighthaunt units are typically more measured on how many points per wound you're going to get. So Blade Geist Revenants are my highest rate. You can only successfully charge them on a 7 if they're contesting an objective I control. They always will be. I don't ever not do that. And so there's often times where you're like, okay, I need both of these units to go in. And if you don't get a 7 on one of them, you just don't get to bring that second unit in, and it really slows you down. So the whole thing that the list does is it tries not to die. It's bringing models back on multiple hero phases, multiple end phases, subtracting your control score, and really it's just playing objectives super hard. Does that sound about right, guys?
Yeah.
It does. I've played against this or something similar multiple times. It's just kind of it's just a slog, and you kind of just end up banging your head against the wall because you're like, I'm not making any progress doing anything against this army, right? And it's not to say it's unbeatable because it is, but I some people are have been down on Nighthawk. I Shawn and I have enough conversations that I think we both have agreed that Nighthawk has been pretty good for a while now, especially in the hands of a practiced player, which Shawn is. He knows what he's doing with it. So it's just going to be, you know, buckle up and you better be able to do some damage. Otherwise, it's just going to, it's yeah.
Miserable.
Do you
The
think it's a
one thing
fun
I really
list to
need to.
play, Shawn?
I mean, I actually have enjoyed it quite a bit. I think I'm nearing the end of my natural lifespan of like any list. I've played it almost exclusively since the tome came out. I've tried some DOK and some FEC and some Corn, but this is primarily what I've played. So I am about ready to move on. A few weaknesses of the list in general are just that if you can do a lot of concentrated damage in one spot and I can't position well, you can pick up units and there's no full unit recursion. And then the other problem is if you have a way to disrupt my game plan, the game plan for this list never changes. So it's not doesn't have some of the interesting aspects that like cities or FEC have where they can you can switch your orders or you can switch your delusion, you can start doing something different. I just have to keep trying to outbody you because that's all that I brought and that's all that I'm typically capable of doing. That's one of the reasons I kept the coach in. I've experimented without the coach a little bit, and it's nice to have something that can move and do damage, that can teleport in 3d6 charge, that can like actually pick up units, and I think it does open up some of the tactical flexibility of the list. Is just having something your opponent actually has to know does damage. I might have played the guy who's bringing the double Mortek crawler list that we reviewed earlier because I played a list very similar when I went to Iowa, and I ended up having the coach teleport and 3d6 charge into both crawlers. And even though I didn't pick either one of them up because I didn't all out attack, it was just like, well, okay, my 310 points is now locking down your nearly 500 points, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I happy trades right there.
Yep, artillery beware.
And that was the last list.
Pretty good mix of grand alliances. Within those grand alliances, though, we have a lot of repeat factions. I'll say,
Yeah.
of course, destruction being the outlier, of course, with only one.
No Seraphon either.
Yeah, yeah, we don't really have. Do we have a local player that like strictly plays Seraphon? I don't really think we don't really, right? Corey used to, but he's been on Stormcast for the edition. Yep. Michael Smith. Michael Smith from Iowa. He won Bug Eater 2 years ago with Seraphon. He plays
Yeah.
Seraphon, I know. Spooky.
Seraphon are fun army.
Who doesn't
But they
like
got a bunch of
dinos
different ways
riding
you can play
dinos?
them. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we end this?
I don't think so. I guess breaking news: we did get an 11th hour sign up, so we're at 29.
All right.
Got notification that we got another sign up.
That means there's room for 3 more laid ups.
Oh, yeah, we are.
I, I think I saw that in
Yeah, that was a choice by Billy, our TO, our TO. We tried it in RTT last month, and I didn't hear any complaints about it.
Because I
Was
think
I thought it was fun.
you're re-rolling Paths of the Fae, so that one's
Yeah,
never in, and then
yep,
you're re-rolling duplicates.
yep. We won't play the same mission twice. And Paths of the Fae, I think really the only reason we've left it out is because our TO thinks it'll just take too. I haven't played Paths of the Fae, to be honest with you. I think the TO Billy thinks it just takes too long. Might take
No,
too
no
long.
one's played it because it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fully painted Paths of the Fae bat rep.
I'm on there, but I haven't learned how to use TTS.
TTS is kind of daunting at first. At least it was for me. But yeah,
I need to. Takes time though.
it does.
Thanks for joining me, and you guys have a good evening, and hope your tournament is awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. We'll definitely post pictures in the Great Plains Masters Discord, and hopefully Sam Wilton Cooper wears his Lumineth cosplay, so we can post pictures of that too.
And remember, yep, once again, they're teching the realms. So if you guys are wanting to see their content that they put out for the event, that's where you'll go find them. All right. Thanks again. Good night.